Let's go ahead and read our story first before we start to answer our questions. It's in classwork under the reading topic is where you'll find it. It's called Daily Comprehension Review, Week 2. Okay, let's read our story. The secret behind M&Ms. Sounds delicious. M&M candies were invented in 1941. They were sold exclusively to the military during World War II. Have you ever wondered how those little chocolate buttons coated in a candy shell are made? Right now we're not working on the Nearpod, Brianna. That's a different one. We're going to do that afterwards. So for right now, you just want to find the Daily Comprehension Review, Week 2. The process starts by making the chocolate candy for the center. The ingredients are milk, cocoa butter, sugar, and chocolate flavoring. The mixture is stirred in a large vat until it's a smooth liquid. Then the liquid is poured through a screen and gently tumbled. This process turns it into the familiar button shape. To make the colorful shell that coats the chocolate buttons are lightly sprayed with a liquid mixture made of corn syrup and sugar. It takes 14 thin coats of this spray to make the outer shell. The candies continue to be tumbled gently in the large screen tumbler until they dry. Finally, the candies are placed in large trays filled with small indentations that are exactly the shape of the candies. One candy is placed inside each indentation. This holds them steady so they can be gently stamped with an M. I always wondered that because they're pretty squishy. If you squish them, you break them. So I always wondered how they put the M on top of it. After packaging, the candies are shipped to stores for your eating pleasure. All right, let's take a look at these questions and see if we can find answers and proof for those answers. A. The author wrote this article mainly to blank. All right. So for question number 1, they want to know what was the author's purpose. Now, author's purpose is something that we're going to talk about later on in the year, but author's purpose means why did they write this story? Why did they take the time and write all this down? What are they trying to do? Usually, for author's purpose, you can break it into 3 main reasons. Number 1, to persuade you. That means that they want to change your thinking about something. They want you to agree with them. Number 2 is to inform. That means they want to give you facts and they want you to learn something. Or number 3 is to entertain. That's where they just want you to enjoy the story. So it could be a funny story that they want you to laugh about. It could be a scary story that they want you to be scared of. It could be, I don't know. It could be like a mystery, and they want you to read it and to try to figure out and be thinking, "Oh, this guy's lying," or "No, this other person's lying. Oh, it was him the whole time." They want you to just enjoy it. They want you to feel something about that story. So, we have some answer choices. A. The author wrote this article mainly to convince the reader that M&Ms are good candies. B. The author wrote this article mainly to inform the reader about how M&Ms are made. C. The author wrote this article mainly to explain to the reader why M&Ms were sold only to the military during World War II. Or D. The author wrote this article mainly to teach the reader how the outer candy shell of M&Ms is made. Who thinks they can tell me which one of those answer choices seems like the best one to pick? Why did the author write this article? Kylie, why did the author write this article?
Because he wanted to show information how to make an how M&Ms are made.
Okay. Where do we see some of that information that they told us about how M&Ms are made?
Because it says the uh, it says how those little chocolate buttons coated in a candy shell are made.
Okay. It tells you, right? It tells us here, have you ever wondered how the little chocolate buttons coated in a candy, let me get another line, shell are made? Does it tell us
Line,
anything afterwards about how they're made?
line.
Does it tell us anywhere else, Kylie, about how they make them?
Um, it's giving us the ingredients how to make it.
Okay, it also gives us the ingredients. The ingredients are milk, cocoa butter, sugar, and, again, I need another line, chocolate flavoring.
That's a lot of lines.
That is a lot of lines, but that's good. If I have a lot of proof, that usually means that I have the correct answer. It's not very often that you're going to find a lot of proof for an answer that's wrong. So they ask us, have you ever wondered how these candies are made? And then you're right, they tell us the ingredients, and they even tell us some of the steps. They tell us about how they pour it through a screen, about how they have to spray on 14 coats of that shell before it gets to the size that they want, how they go and they press on them and put the M on top. So those are all the steps how to make the candy, right? So B looks like a pretty good answer. Inform the reader how the M&Ms are made. All right? Question 2. What information is included in this passage? So this question is asking us, what information could I find in my passage? A. Why the candy was invented. B. Why the candy was sold only to the military. C. How the candy shell is made. Or D. What colors the candy shell is. Who can tell me which of my answer choices would I find in my story? Which one of those answer choices does it actually tell me? Kylie, you found it again?
Answer choice C.
How the candy shell is made. Okay, where do they tell me how it's made?
Um,
What does it say?
where is it? Mm, um, to make the coated shell that coats, I mean, yeah, coated shell that coats
The
the
colored shell?
chocolate. Yeah, no, wait. Maybe, where is it? Um, it's
You had it right here. You just had this word mixed up. To make the colored shell that coats what?
coats the chocolate. The chocolate buttons are lightly sprayed with a liquid mixture made of corn
Syrup?
syrup and sugar.
Okay.
It it takes 14 thin coats of this syrup to make the outer shell.
So they give us a really good description of how to make this. So they tell us that they have to spray them all with a mixture of corn syrup and sugar, and that they don't just do it once, they have to spray it 14 times before the shell is what they need it to be.
Yeah.
So you're right. They tell us C. They don't tell us why it was invented. They never said, oh, they invented it because the soldiers really wanted chocolate candy. They don't tell us why they started making them. They don't tell us why it was only sold to the military at first. They do tell us that it was sold only to the military, but they don't give us a reason. They don't tell us it was because they were the only ones buying it or whatever else it might have been. They also don't tell us what colors the M&Ms come in. We might know what colors they come in because we eat M&Ms, but they don't tell us in our story. So I don't have any proof for that. All right. Number 3, the word that means blank. We have to figure out what this word means using our story. A large screen. B, a tumbler. C, a container. Or D, a mixture. Before we get into our answer choices, answer choice A, a large screen. Who can tell me what is a screen? Not like a computer screen. What do you think they mean when they say a large screen? What could that mean? Or what would that be? I want you to raise your hand if either on the front door of your house or the back door of your house, some of us might have not one door, but 2 doors. One of them is a more like solid door, and the other one you can see through, and you can almost, like if you pressed really hard, you'd probably be able to poke through it. All right, I see a couple of us have our hands up. That second door is what we call a screen door. So that one, if you just had a screen door, then all of the hot air outside in the summer would come into your house and your house would be really warm. Or in the winter, all the cold air would come in and your house would be really cold. So that's why they usually have 2 doors. They have the screen door, so that way if you want to look outside or if the weather's really nice outside, you can leave it open and you can smell the air outside. If there's a breeze going by, you can get the breeze coming into your house. But that second door is to keep the heat out or the cold out, depending on what time of year it is. A screen is also really useful for when you're trying to separate some things. Yeah, so a lot of times it's the back door that has the screen door. It'll go out to like a patio where you can sit out there and relax. And again, usually one door is maybe something like wood or glass, and then the other door is the one that's the screen door. You can see through it, and like I said, if you pressed on it like really hard, you'd probably be able to just push right through it. So they say maybe the word vat means that it's a large screen. Jaylene, do you have a question?
So, like, the screen is like a window screen?
Yeah, like the ones on our windows, because windows have those too. That way you can open a window, but you don't have to worry about mosquitoes and flies coming into your house. So again, those are really useful for separating things. In that case, we're separating the mosquitoes and the other bugs and stuff from our house. We want to have the window open because maybe it's really nice outside, but we don't want mosquitoes and flies in our house. So we have the screen so we can leave the window open and the bugs stay out. A tumbler. What is a tumbler? Does anyone have an idea? What's a tumbler? Who has ever seen? Oh, Violet. Let's see. You have a question or you have an idea?
Idea.
Okay, what's your idea?
The idea is the glass.
That is a good guess. A lot of times when you go to like stores and you're gonna buy a glass, like for the kitchen,
Well,
sometimes
I
they're
mean
called.
a big glass, like a window.
Ah, okay. So sometimes when you go to the store and you buy glasses like what you drink water out of and stuff, sometimes they're called tumblers. But in this case, a tumbler would be if you have ever seen, like on a construction site, they have this big
What
barrel.
tumbler? Big glass.
Concrete tumblers.
So they have this big like barrel. And inside, it always kind of sits either sideways like this or a little bit tilted. When they're working and they're putting concrete anywhere, it just turns around and around like this. Now, in a case like that, it's doing that to mix the concrete and to make sure it doesn't get, solidified and get stuck in there. Sometimes they also have these things called rock tumblers. And what those do is it's like a big drum and it does the same thing. You put rocks in there and usually they'll put things like sand or something like that inside of it and it'll just spin over and over. And it doesn't have to go very fast, but it just keeps spinning around and around and around and around. And as it spins, it lets all those rocks that are inside kind of smack into each other. And they just keep bumping into each other over and over and over and over. And as it does that, it makes the rocks smoother and smoother and smoother. And the longer you let them tumble, the smoother and smoother they get. So that's what they mean here by a tumbler. It's like a kind of like a big barrel or something that's on its side, and it just spins around. It lets things kind of smack into each other on the inside. So usually they use it to mix something or to make things nice and smooth. A container is just anything like a glass or like a soup pot on the stove, anything like that. A mixture. What's a mixture? Who can tell me? What is a mixture? If you say that something is a mixture, what are you saying about it? Brianna, what do you think? What is a mixture?
A liquid.
It can be a liquid, but it doesn't have to be. Bailey?
A lot of different things mixed together.
That's a great way to put it. A mixture is when you have two things or more than two things, so it could be a lot, like you said, and they're just mixed together. Now, like Brianna said, it could be a mixture that's a liquid. So something like Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid is a mixture. You have water, you have sugar, and then you have the flavor, right? The little flavor powder that you sprinkle into the water. So that's a mixture, and it's a liquid. A mixture could also be a solid. So a mixture could be something like a salad or a pizza. That's a mixture. Because it's not just one thing. In salad, you have things like lettuce and tomato and onions and croutons and olives, whatever else you want to put in there. Or on a pizza, you would have the pizza crust, you'd have the tomato sauce, the cheese, and then whatever toppings, pepperoni, bacon, pineapple, whatever you want to put on there. So those are mixtures. So question 3 is asking us, the word vat means what? What does it mean? Now, on questions like these, one of the things they do that helps us out is you see how they underline the word vat? They put a line underneath it. If I go back to my story, it's the same thing here. They have it underlined. If there's a word that's underlined, it's usually something that's going to be important to a question later on. They're kind of giving you a hint, like, hey, pay attention to this. So if I go back to this sentence, I can read it and I can use some context clues. I can try to figure out what is happening. The mixture is stirred in a large vat until it's a smooth liquid. Okay. So the mixture is stirred in a large vat until it's a smooth liquid. Now the other thing I can do is if I take these answer choices, I can replace the word vat with the answer choice and see if that sentence makes sense. If it makes sense, then it's probably a good answer choice. If it doesn't make sense, then I probably don't want to pick that answer choice. So let's try answer choice A. The mixture is stirred in a large screen until it's a smooth liquid. Does answer choice A make sense in that sentence? The mixture is stirred in a large screen until it's a smooth liquid. Would you be able to do that? Like the screens on your windows or the screens on your back doors? Would you be able to stir anything inside of those? What do you think? Who can tell me? Would you be able to stir something inside of one of those screens? Violet, I see you shaking your head. Why not? How come you can't stir something inside of one of those screens?
Because you can't get inside of it.
Okay, because there's no room inside of it. There's just one side and the other side. You can't put anything inside. And if you try to make it like a bag, a bunch of stuff would fall out. It wouldn't work very well, would it? Okay, so not a large screen. B, a tumbler. Let's see. The mixture is stirred in a large tumbler until it's a smooth liquid. Okay, well, what do you think? The mixture is stirred in a large tumbler until it's a smooth liquid. Does that answer choice make sense? Could you stir something inside of a tumbler? Who can tell me? Would that make sense to do? What do you think, Messiah? Would it make sense to stir this mixture in a large tumbler?
Can't do anything. My internet's being slow. I can't see anything.
Well, tell me, what do you think, Messiah? So we said a tumbler is like a barrel that's on its side, and the stuff in it just keeps rolling and rolling. So the stuff inside just kind of goes all over the place inside of that barrel. Would that make sense for them making the chocolate? Would they use that to stir the chocolate up?
Probably not.
Okay.
My
Probably
internet's
not.
being slow.
Okay. Let's look at answer choice C then. The word vat means a container. Let's try it in the sentence. The mixture is stirred in a large container until it's a smooth liquid. Does that make sense? That they could put the chocolate into a container and then just stir it. Ezekiel, what do you think? Would that make sense to put the chocolate into a container and then stir it up?
Yes.
Yeah. It'd be like if you were making something on your stove, right? You'd put it into a pot. Like if you were going to make soup, you'd put all your stuff into a pot and then stir it to make your soup.
Yep.
Except this time they're not making soup. They're making delicious chocolate. Okay, the last one, mixture. Let's try it. Let's see if that one works. The mixture is stirred in a large mixture until it's a smooth liquid. Does that word make sense in that sentence? The mixture is stirred in a large liquid until it's a smooth the mixture is stirred in a large mixture until it's a smooth liquid. Does that make sense? What do you think, Jaylene? The mixture is stirred in a large mixture until it's a smooth liquid. Would that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you had a mixture, you could stir it in another mixture? Would
In
that
a
make
container?
sense? In a container, yeah. But would it make sense if we tried answer choice D, a mixture? The mixture is stirred in a large mixture until it's a smooth liquid?
No, because then it'll mix up the mixture.
Yeah,
Like it'll taste weird.
then it'd be a different mixture, right? It would be chocolate and whatever else was in the other mixture. Like if you mixed up pizza and salad, it wouldn't be pizza or salad anymore. It'd be pizza salad with crust and cheese and, I don't know, lettuce, tomato, onions. I don't know if it would be bad, but I think the pizza would get soggy with all the salad dressing. So this one, a container, makes the most sense. We can go ahead and underline our proof. The mixture is stirred in a large vat until it's a smooth liquid. And that's exactly what a vat is. A vat is like a really big container, like a jar or a jug or a cooking pot. Now, of course, when they're making M&Ms, they're making it in a big factory. So they're not going to use a cooking pot like we would find on one of our stoves. They use huge mixtures or huge containers to mix all of this stuff together. Because they're not just trying to make 2 or 3 M&Ms. They're trying to make thousands and thousands of M&Ms. All right. Question 4. What do you infer the author is referring to in the title? Okay, this one uses the word infer. Infer means like a guess. What can we guess or what can we figure out that the author is talking about? Well, let's have a look at that title, The Secret Behind M&Ms. What do you think the author is talking about when they say the secret behind M&Ms? What do you think they mean? The secret behind M&Ms. Usually when someone tells you they have a secret, what do they mean? If someone tells you, I have a secret, what do they mean when they say that they have a secret? Kaylee, what do you think? If someone tells you they have a secret, what does that mean?
That means that it's something important.
It could be important, but what makes a secret different than just, I have something important to say? What's the difference? There's a big difference between something that's secret and something that's important. Kylie, what do you think?
A secret is something that you can only tell certain people that you want to. Like a secret is something. It's like if like if per se if someone's room are clean, they're keeping it a secret and they want to tell someone. Or
Okay, so that's
they
a great
had
way to say it. A secret
yeah,
is something that
one that's cool. and they were keeping a secret from the other friends.
Exactly. So it's something that not everybody knows. And I think the way
Hmm.
you said it was very good. Something that you tell only the people that you want to. So not everybody knows this, only some
Or like,
people do.
or if you broke glass, like your mother's mug, and you didn't tell her, that's keeping a secret.
That's a good example. So when the title says the secret behind M&Ms, what secret do you think they're talking about? Because with people it makes a little more sense. Because like you said, a secret could be like, hey, don't tell mom, but I was playing soccer in the house and I kicked the ball and it hit the TV and now the TV doesn't turn on. So that could be your secret. That you know why the TV's broken. Or the secret could be like you said, hey, don't tell dad. I didn't clean up my room, so it's still messy. But don't tell him. But M&Ms, I mean, in the commercials they do, but in real life we know M&Ms don't talk, right? Or at least I've never opened up a bag of M&Ms and they popped out and they were like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I've certainly never ever opened up a bag of M&Ms and had one pop out and go, "Don't tell anybody, but the bag is really messy." So, what could they be talking about when they say the secret behind M&Ms? What do you think that secret is?
The secret is how to make M&Ms like they do.
Okay, so how they make the M&Ms?
Mhm.
Because even though the M&Ms might not have a dirty room or a broken TV to have secrets about, the secret could be how do you make the M&Ms? I mean, like I
Hmm.
said earlier, I didn't know how they got the M on top because they're pretty squishy. If you squish them, it's easy for them to break. But I didn't know how they got the M to be on top of the candy.
Yeah.
What do you think, Heideen?
I think the secret to the M&Ms is the ingredients they use in it.
That's a good point. So not just how they make it, but what goes inside of it. So
Yeah.
that's good. A lot of people have that with like their family recipes, right? Sometimes like if your grandma or mom or dad or whoever cooks, they might have like a secret recipe for macaroni and cheese or for hamburgers or for pizza or something. And they don't just go around telling everybody because everybody wants to know because it's so tasty and delicious. But they keep it secret. That way not everyone can copy them and take their recipe. So, I think both of those are good ideas. So what do we think the author is referring to? The author is talking about the ingredients, because that was one thing, and how to make the candy. All right? And just like the other questions, what evidence from the text supports this inference, this guess? So, how do we know that they're talking about the ingredients and how to make the candy? Haley, what do you think? How do we know that? How do we know that the secret behind the M&Ms is the ingredients and how to make it?
Because the title says the secret behind M&Ms.
Okay, and then what else tells us that our guess is correct? That we know they're talking about the ingredients and the steps?
Because it's showing it asks how the M&Ms are made.
Because it tells us. It tells us what the ingredients are up here, and then it shows us the different steps for it, right? So we can put they tell us the ingredients and the steps. And we already underlined it. The ingredients are milk, cocoa butter, sugar, and chocolate flavoring. They tell us they have to stir the chocolate first. And then, oh, hold on. Here, the liquid is poured through a screen and gently tumbled. So once they mix it, they have to pour it through a screen and then put it into a tumbler so that way it gets that nice round smooth button shape. Then they have to spray it with that coating 14 times to get the final M&M. Okay, well, we have all of our answers. We have all of our proof. So if you haven't already, go ahead and open up yours. Go to this page, CDR week 2. It's the very first slide. And I'll leave this page up so you can go ahead and use it to make sure that your answers match. And tomorrow, you'll get a chance to do this on your own first, and then we'll check the answers together. But for now, take the time, make sure that yours matches mine, and I'll leave my page up with all the proof so you can have a chance to copy it down.